welcome to another episode here on my podcast. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk about something that is often overlooked, often not done, and often people don't know how to do it, so they don't do it, which is actually, it's just too bad because it can have a huge impact on your business and on your sales. And what I'm talking about is basically the follow up. Maybe you're doing it, maybe you're not doing it. If you do it, maybe there are some tips still that I can give you to do it in a proper way or to do it in a way that actually helps you to land this client. Because I could say that for this episode I could use a title like how I got 18K in 1 week, but that would be clickbait. But it's also true because I got 18K in 1 week of revenue. But the thing is that, it is not because of actions that I took in just 1 week. The actions have been just already happened way before that. And it just happened to be that they fell in the same week, which is why I made 18K in 1 week. So, don't always, when you hear these things on social media or I see these things on social media, always remember that and remind yourself that it's not that they just made 18K in 1 week. This is the result basically of the things that they've been putting out and doing for a longer period of time. And this is now, they're reaping the benefits of that now. And so that was also the same for me. So when I had 18K in 1 week, of course, it was great, but it doesn't happen every week. But the thing is that it happened because there were some specific things that I did. And that specific thing was what this episode is about, which is the follow-up. So I wanted to tell you or dive a little bit deeper into how I use this, how it works, and how and why it is so effective. The thing is that when we have sales calls with people or first interactions with people, and sometimes they lead to a discovery call or a strategy call or maybe a session. Sometimes it leads to just, a call to that they're interested, they just want to know what you can offer. Sometimes they lead to a proposal, and quite often it can happen that, of course, they say no in the end to that offer that you're presenting. So, these things can happen. You can provide an offer. It can be for them. They might think it's not the right moment. They don't have the funds. Okay, there's gonna be another episode about those things because honestly, I don't believe that people don't have the funds or that it's not the right time. I just think those are just excuses. But of course, even though people can give those excuses, you cannot force them to buy your offer, of course. And I would never force them to buy something that that they don't want to have, because if I would push them to buy it, then I would be a pushy salesperson, and I don't want people to buy something that they don't believe in at that moment. So to me, it's always really important that people are committed before they start working with me, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to keep them going, to have them have momentum, because I don't want to be the person that's constantly pushing them or pulling them to do the work, to do those things, to actually benefit from what I have in my offer. But okay, aside from that, if someone says no to your offer, apart from the fact that it can be all objections and all the excuses, if they say no to your offer, I just want you to remember this one thing. If they did not say no, then it doesn't mean that they never will want to work with you, So that means that it's also possible for them to change their mind later on. And that if it's now not the right time, that maybe in a later stage or in a couple of months or weeks or a year, I don't know, that they are ready to work with you. And so that's why it's always really important to keep in touch and stay in touch with people that you had like discovery calls with, or that you sent proposals to, just to stay in touch. Because there can be a moment where they realize like, hey, okay, I wanted to do this on my own. It was not the right time. And now that you follow up with me, actually, I haven't changed at all. And I want to make a change. And I think I'm ready to work with you now. And that is exactly what happened with those people that decided to work with me, and which led to me making 18K in 1 week. because the thing is, they were basically 3 different clients that I had given an offer before, or had a proposal, sent out a proposal to before, a couple of months earlier. And the only thing I did was just to check in with them at a later point in time. So I think it was about 4 months later, like 4 months before I sent the follow-up. I had the last contact with them. And the only thing I just did was just send them an email or a message asking, hey, name, hey, how are you doing? How's it going? And I was just wondering how you were doing. And that's it, basically, what I said. And then from there, the conversation started. And then I could ask a little bit more questions. And then, it will automatically usually lead to the conversation about the offer. Because, you reaching out to them reminds them again of the conversation they had with you. It reminds them of maybe the goals that they had set or the things that they wanted to achieve. And it reminds them of your offer. So basically what I did was just reaching out to them. And sometimes, you get triggered, how to say this? Yeah, there's a trigger which makes you think about a specific person. So there was one prospect that I talked to, and we talked during that conversation about something specific regarding sustainable business and something like that. And then in the week that I followed up with him, actually I hadn't planned to follow up with him yet, but that week I saw an article about this specific sustainable business that we talked about during our conversation. And basically what I did is I sent a message to him asking him like, hey, how are you doing? I just had to think of you because I read this article. I gave him the link to the article and I just had to think of you. And I'm just wondering how you're doing. And just sending that, just like an invitation, nothing pushy, not talking about the offer or anything that we discussed before about the offer, but just showing basically that I listened to him the first time, that I was thinking of him, that I was reminded of him, and then using that as a way to start a new conversation. So when I sent that out to this person, he actually, replied back like, hey, thank you for this article. Yes, I had to think about our conversation, and I'd like to book another call with you to just see if what we talked about, if we can take it a step further, And that was the start of another conversation that I had with him. So I had another call with him, and then during that call, basically, we went over the same things as we did the first time. We talked about the offer and his desires, and basically what he said is, I've been, thinking about this, wanting to do it on my own for like a couple of months, but I think it would be nice and would be good to work with you. So that is how I landed that client. Now, another person that I followed up with was just someone that I also had a conversation with before, like I think a few months before. And she said during that time, like, okay, I don't think it's really the right time right now. I think there are some other things that I need to take care of. And I was like, okay, sure, are you okay with me just, reaching out to you at a later point in time? And she said, yeah, that's fine. So that way already, during that call, the first call, you already open up a new conversation. You already say to them like, hey, I understand it's not the right time for you right now. Maybe in a later point in time, we can, have a catch-up moment. We can follow up again. Or are you okay with me just following up with you or connecting with you again? And if you say those things during the first time that you talk to each other, there's always a new good moment or not an awkward moment, so to say, to follow up with them. The intention is just to follow up with them and to see how they're doing. And you're not pushing anything. So again, here, I just followed up with her and said, hey, I just had to think of you again because there was something that reminded me of her. And I said, hey, I had to think of you. And also, we discussed that I was just wondering how you were doing. And I just wondering if you wanted to have a catch up on what we discussed before. And also here, she just agreed to say yes again, like we can agree to have a conversation. And, a good thing is also that usually the first conversation they have with me, they like it. It's a nice conversation. It's not pushy. It's just open. It's just me sharing some tips. It's just me giving a little bit of my perspective on how they can change their situation. So they already leave that first conversation really positively. So actually any further or any second conversation with me, they also expect it to be nice and not be pushy. So yeah, so that's what we did. We had a follow-up call, a short follow-up call, and then she just decided to work with me as well. So the follow-up is so, so important. And sometimes I know it can be scary because maybe you did not agree on a follow-up. Maybe you did not ask, can I follow up with you? But just see it like this, you can just send a simple message asking, hey, how are you doing? And yes, it might be that they are not responding to you. It can be because they are busy. It can be because of a lot of reasons. I mean, just look at yourself. Have you always responded to anyone directly? I haven't. Like sometimes, messages in my WhatsApp can sometimes stay there for 3 days, and then I'm just suddenly I'm reminded that, oh shit, I haven't responded to this person yet. So, if they don't respond, it's not necessarily that they don't want to talk to you. But you can just open up the conversation, and if they don't respond, it doesn't mean that they said no. You can still send another follow-up later. You can still send maybe an article or maybe something that you think is interesting for them. You can still share it with them. And as long that they don't say, okay, I don't want you to contact me any longer, as long as they don't say that, then just feel free to send that follow-up. Because the follow-up is also just a good way to stay top of mind of people. People forget about you. They have a lot of other things to do. They're not busy with you. And when you send a message to follow up with them, it can be just a nice reminder for them of your last conversation. It can be a reminder of their goals. It can be a reminder of that one thing that they actually wanted and said no to, but maybe they are ready now to jump in and to do this with you. So key takeaway from this episode is follow up with everyone and anyone that you talk to. It can be your old clients. It can be prospects. It can be people that you talk to at, I don't know, networking event or something and that you thought was interesting. It can be anyone that just wants to or that had an interaction with you. You can just follow up with them. If you think that they might be a good fit for your offer, they might struggle with something that you can help solve, you might have an offer for them that they might like, just follow up with them and don't hesitate. Don't feel scared to do so, because in the end, it is just a message. It's just saying, hi, how are you doing? And no pressure, just take the pressure off from it. Detach your own emotions, your okay, this is supposed to lead to a client. No, a follow-up is just what it is, a follow-up. And that is just a potential way or an opportunity for you to stay in conversation and to land a client, but it's not a necessity. Okay, so basically make a list of people you can follow up with and follow up with them today. And if you don't know what to say, you can just say hi, Okay, so that's it for this episode. I hope that it gave you some insights. I hope that you're going to take action. But also, if you feel that you can or you want to increase the conversion from your leads into clients, if you want to become better at sales, if you want to learn tactics and ways to, not in a pushy way or a salesy way or in a way that you don't feel comfortable, but in a way that actually suits you to do sales, if you want to learn that, then I have 2 things for you that might be interesting. The first thing is that you can book a call with me, which is a session that I will do with you, and I will share a couple of tips with you based on your specific situation. So if you want to book this call, you do have to answer a couple of questions so that I can prepare myself for the call. And then during that call, I can give you a couple of tips that can help you boost your sales. So that's the first thing I have for you. This session is completely free. It's not a sales call. It's just me giving you a couple of tips, and then you can do with it whatever you want. Hopefully it will help you to boost your sales. And of course, if you're interested in working with me, I can tell you more about my offers. But that's the first thing that you could do. And the second thing that you could do is to go and check out my beta program, the beta program that I'm launching right now, which is called the Sales Elevator. And this program is to help you boost your sales, to become better at sales, to increase your conversions. And it really helps you if you do like sales calls or writing proposals. And the way that I am doing this is I'm going to help you with sales in a strategic way. Now, I want you to have a strategic foundation off of which you can build your sales strategy. Because without a good strategy, sales is going to be really hard. If you don't have a great offer for a specific client, if you don't know exactly who that client is, and if you don't know how to talk to them in a way that makes them feel that your offer is a perfect solution to their challenge or their problem or for their desire, to achieve their desire. If you don't have that, it is just really hard to do sales. So that beta program is what I'm launching right now, and you can actually get into this program for a pilot investment right now until the 15th of December. It's going to be with my personal coaching, and you are going to have like a couple of training modules so that you are getting your strategy and your strategic foundation right for your business. So up until the 15th of December, you can just get into this program at a pilot price of only 797 euros. And you can even pay in installments. So if you feel that you can't afford 800 euros right now from the get-go, then know that you can pay in 3 monthly installments, which also gives you 3 to make back 270 euros each and every month to make up for the investment. So I cannot decide for you whether or not this beta program is for you. I just know one thing, that if you want to increase your sales, and if you are a service provider, you provide services to clients, and you want to boost your sales, you want to increase your sales and your sales skills, then this program might be perfect for you. And I cannot decide for you if this is a big investment or a small investment, but the only thing that I know is that you probably only need 1 client to make back the investment of this pilot program. And the good thing about this pilot program is that this is the lowest investment that you can get in ever, because the eventual price for this program will be at least 2,500 euros. From the 15th of December, the price will go up to 2,000 euros. So if you want to work on your business and want to work on your skills, then definitely check that out. I will put the links of both the Sales Boost session and the Sales Elevator in the show notes with this podcast episode. So hopefully I will talk to you in person, and if not, I will talk to you in the next episode. I hope this episode was valuable for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast. And also, if you are listening to this and it was valuable to you, be so kind to leave me a review so that other people can find me too. All right, that was it. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you too. And I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.